Okay. So if you know about the Anunnaki, you know about the Shatakun.
A little bit. I don't, like I said, I don't get into them, but I hear little pieces of.
Okay, like right now how they're doing it is everybody bows down to the Queen of England.
Oh, I don't know anything.
And well, I ain't everybody either. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
but that's right.
I mean, the corporate
yeah.
bigwigs, they bow down to her, which is showing us that who runs it. Like you said, a white boy asked you, it's going to take a black woman.
Right.
It's going back to that. And we got to be ready for that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just, for me, I know I hear a lot of, I hear a lot of people do talk about that. We've got to be ready for 2012. We've got to be ready. We've got to be ready. But I think that we have to be in a space of, in the continuum. You're in the continuum. You're not ready for any specific thing. When you become you, you don't have to be ready for anything. You know what I mean? When you become you, who you are as a master, there's nothing to be ready for. There's nothing. Because you supersede it all. So, anyway, so come tomorrow.
What time? What time does it
What
start?
time is it? Is
No,
it
what time does it start?
What time does it start? At 6 or? 6?
In the evening?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. Starts at 6.
Do you expound on, you have a DVD?
I have quite a few DVDs.
Oh, we wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Oh, well, unfortunately, I wasn't able to bring a lot of them. I only brought a couple. But what I brought was Reality Code Expansion. Reality Code Expansion.
This is not reality code.
No, this is the audio book. This is the audio version of the book. It's over there.
I'm just wondering what it is.
Oh, okay. The audio version of the book is there. That's the entire book in audio. Overriding the Hypnotic Spell of the Matrix is, I think, 3.5 hours. And I basically go into such things as even religion, religious programming, but it goes beyond that. Whatever I talk about is usually not the typical. So it's not the typical religious information or what's been done. It goes into more of the science of that, and even the idea of heaven and dimensionally. And so this goes into a lot of that. Reality Code Expansion was one of the most interesting lectures that I've done, because that one goes into the fact that everything is a code, and all the various codes by which we operate, and even in relationship to the UCC, and tying it in a little bit with spirituality, how all of that works, and the fact that everything is coded. Well, I'll also talk about tomorrow, because I plan to talk about that, because that's really important in understanding. That's all that you deal with are codes, it's frequency patterns. So.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Does that have anything to do with the DNA codes? And only 20 of them being unlocked in a place like this, and 44 of them being dormant because we live in a state of fear that travels slow along these codes, so you're not able to unlock. But when you live with love, it travels fast. You're able to unlock different codes. Like you said, you don't have to be ready for anything because you're the master already.
Right, exactly. So I'm talking about codes from that aspect, but I thought in this video, it was important, in this lecture, it was important for us to recognize the external codes, because it's the external codes that are locking us in why we can't see or unlock ourselves, because we all have a signature. We can't unlock ourselves because of the external codes. So that video goes into a lot of that.
Which one is that?
The Reality Code Expansion, choice versus program. I'm showing is it choices, or those choices you're making authentic? Are they based on programs? So I'm showing you how the programs are really where you're making your choices from. And then I believe it goes into, well no, that's the other one, hacking your mind. That one goes into that. But then I also go into beyond the ancestral codes. I think I did that in hacking the mind, yeah. So each one becomes an evolution of the next one, and it just goes in deeper and deeper and deeper. Anything to it?
Can you define code, or will you please define?
Define code. Well, a code is like a symbol, and everything is, you know, a frequency, some sort of frequency. So, for example, I'll just use something simple. For example, I'll use a symbol. A symbol is a code. You see a sign, UPS, FedEx. You don't even have to know that that's what it is, the letters, but you're coded with the colors and certain things, yeah, about it, that you automatically, it triggers, you know, whatever that is. And same thing with all these other things that I'm talking about as codes. They're constantly triggering you into pretty much every move you're making. So I'm showing people how far and how deep these are coming from, even going, you know, as far as even into the astrological aspect of things, because, you know, eventually we get off the astrological wheel. So those, again, you know, everything I've talked about goes into an evolution. It's like this thing and then this thing and then this thing. But you got to see the codes first, and then when you get the fact that, oh, I've been running off of all these codes, all these programs, that's basically it. Then you move into like this next phase of thinking. But everything is a frequency pattern, so everything holds a specific coding to it. Meaning it's, for lack of a better word, it's imprinted with some specific rules or conditions for what it represents. And when you see that, because you are already imprinted with what that code means, you just automatically hear a certain word, see a certain thing, and it triggers a certain reaction in you that's supposed to be triggered.
So you're talking about programs, basically.
Yeah, basically. Well, yeah, it's programs, and then the programs need codes to kick them in, right, to trigger them. So.
I just wanted your definition.
Yeah, which is, you know, 2012, which is what I'm going to talk about as a code.
Another example of the codes and the programs and the conditions that we talked about once before was the breast cancer.
Oh yeah,
And how it triggers thoughts of cancer, and it keeps that whole breast cancer thing alive because it's there. And no matter where you go, it says the same thing, and your mind always goes back.
Plus, yeah, pink ribbon. So again, we talk about those things tomorrow, but yeah, it's the marketing symbols and the increase in breast cancer because of the running, supposedly running away from breast cancer. It's actually keeping it. So I guess that's supposed to be it. Okay, I'll take
One
more
last
questions.
question.
How long have you been unlocked? And was there something specific that you knew? Are you still becoming, or are you out?
You said unlocked?
Unlocked.
When I went for it, just consciously went for it since 1992. After I got divorced.